Hey everybody, it is your Sam again. I am here with another video. I was tagged by Lauren, aka Divided by Sight, to do a book tag. And this is the 20 question book tag, and I will have the questions listed down below. At the end, I will tag a couple of people. Feel free to do it if you're watching this. If you want to, tag videos can be a little bit of fun, and if you're like me struggling to come up with some content for this month, then here you go. So without further ado, here's question number 1. How many books is too many books in a book series? If it's written well, I don't think there can be too many books in a book series, but there comes a time where it gets kind of slow to me, so usually around the 12 to 15 mark I get kind of I'm done. So probably somewhere around in there is a good spot for me, somewhere around 12 to 15 books in a book series. Question number 2, how do you feel about cliffhangers? I don't really hate them. If I am really into the book, then yes, I might be upset, but I have a tendency to imagine what happens anyway, come up with kind of like my own stories in my head of what happens when I read a cliffhanger, so I don't really get that upset with them. I don't really hate them, I don't really love them either, so I'm kind of in the middle with them. Question number 3, hardback or paperback? Because of my carpal tunnel and the way where I read either like usually in bed or in my recliner kind of thing. I prefer paperback books because they're just easier for me to hold on to, and they don't hurt my wrists as much as hardback usually do because of the weight. But I do believe that hardbacks look a lot better on a shelf and they tend to last a lot longer than paperbacks. So for reading purposes, I prefer paperbacks. For showcasing, I guess, a book, I prefer hardbacks. We'll put it that way. Number 4, favorite book. I hate favorite questions because there's never a single answer that I can give. So my favorite books are, I'm gonna just name 3, and I will probably change these around or take one out and add another one because I probably didn't think of it or something like that. But for right now, as I'm doing this video, my 3 favorite books are going to be The Hobbit, Sense and Sensibility, and Clockwork Angel. Least favorite book is question number 5, and Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey is a very hefty tie. Some of my live streams would kind of talk about those books a little bit, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Question number 6, love triangles, yes or no? No, I don't really like love triangles because I always feel like there's going to be that one that is always just left out. Now, if it's a love triangle and all 3 of them kind of get together and kind of like a polyamorous relationship, I'm all for that. I actually like that. But when there's a love triangle and one person has to choose between the 2, I kind of hate that. It's just like a cop-out. It makes me feel like the main character is like a Gary Stu or Mary Stu that everybody wants to jump. That's just my opinion. Question number 7, the most recent book you just couldn't finish. I honestly finish all books eventually. It might take me a while. I might have to stop and go back to it, but I usually finish all books eventually. If I absolutely hate a book, like if it's just grammatically incorrect, it shouldn't have been published in the first place, then I still try to read it just to learn from it. I don't think I've ever not finished a book eventually. Question number 8, a book you're currently reading. West by Edith Pateau. That is a book I'm currently reading, and I'm also reading a couple of books that aren't published yet. Question number 9. Last book you recommended to somebody. The last book that I recommended was The Healer's Love by Kiara L. Rose. Comic book, I think I recommended The Wicked and Divine. So depending on which one you want to go with, The Healer's Love or The Wicked and Divine for comic books. 10. The oldest book I've read by publication date. I actually had to do some research on this. Now, this is not including Beowulf and the Iliad because those were translated so much. I think the editions that I finally got my hands on were translated in the 18 or 1900s. I do remember reading some passages of Beowulf from the second translation. One of my professors in college actually had that, so I did get to read like some really old English and I actually understood it, but again, it was only a couple of passages of that. So I would have to say the oldest book I've ever written and had my hands on and actually owned was Le Mort des Auteurs, or The Death of Author, and that the first publication date of it was in 1485, but the edition I had was 1900. It was either 1888 or 1900. Can't really remember which. I let somebody borrow it and they didn't bring it back. So yeah, I don't let people borrow books anymore because of that. I don't speak to that person anymore because of that either. Other than, I don't know if you want to count the Bible, because I have read most of the Bible. But yeah, again, different translations, different years, all that good stuff. Question number 11. Newest book I've read. I'm reading two that haven't been published yet. Does that count? I'm reading I'm reading one that was published last year in 2020. Actually, I'm reading two that was published in 2020. So one is Hunted the Immortal's Kiss, and the other just came in the Scribbler box, and I can't remember the name of it. Question number 12. Favorite author. Again, these favorite questions, I just don't like them. So my favorite authors are going to be Jane Austen, J.R.R. Tolkien, Cassandra Clare, Edgar Allan Poe, and C.S. Lewis. Yeah, we'll stop there. 13. Buying books or borrowing books. I buy most of my books. With library books, most of the books that I borrow from libraries are research-oriented books, so I'm not really counting those because this seems to be like more of a fun reading questionnaire instead of a research reading questionnaire. Question number 14. A book you dislike that everyone else seems to love. Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey. Question number 15. Bookmarks or dog ears? Bookmarks. I buy cute bookmarks, or I get given cute bookmarks, so I use those bookmarks because they're cute and they're pretty, and yeah. Question number 16. A book you can always reread. Pride and Prejudice, The Hobbit, The Children of Huron, Sense and Sensibility, Clockwork Angel, Soulless by Gail Carringer, and Poe. I can reread Poe all the time. Question number 17. Can you read while listening to music? Yes, I can. One day I caught myself listening to an audiobook while also listening to music while sewing. So if that tells you anything. But I was paying a lot more attention to the book than I was to anything else, and well, yeah, there you go. Question number 18. One point of view or multiple point of views? Again, it depends on the book. I prefer 1 to possibly 3 point of views. I don't like books that have more than 5 or 6, just because it just seems kind of repetitive once you get to the point where they all combine or come together into the same room kind of thing. But 2 or 3 I like. 1 point of view I also like. I write mostly in 1 point of view here of late. Question number 19. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? Usually it's over multiple days just because scheduling sucks as an adult, but I used to read books in one sitting. And question number 20, who do I tag? Basically anybody who is watching this who is struggling to come up with content, consider yourself tagged. But I would like to see Sky do this, and possibly Sherry Turquoise, and maybe Sid. I would like to see y'all's answers to these questions if you don't mind doing them. If you do mind doing them, then just pop them down in the comments below and let me know. Thank you for watching, and if you like videos like this or writing related videos or dealing with depression and anxiety while being a creative, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Go ahead and hit that like button as well, and yeah, I will see you next time. I upload videos every Sunday and Thursday. I do live streams every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope y'all have a great day. Be kind to one another, be safe, keep being creative, and keep writing.